Dr. Andrea Shanowski and
Tori.
And today we're going to be making, what are we making?
Watermelon Fresca popsicles.
Watermelon Fresca popsicles. So the first thing we need is some type of blender. We have this personal blender here. And what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and fill it up halfway with strawberries. So maybe about like 4 to 5 chunks. We don't need a lot.
You mean watermelon, not strawberries?
Or yeah, watermelon, sorry. Did I say strawberries?
Yeah.
I'm tired today, apparently. And then probably one more. Perfect. All right. Okay, that should be good. So about halfway. And then we need to drizzle a little bit of honey. So I would say about maybe a teaspoon or two, just a small amount. Then we're going to put a little bit of water, just enough to get a little bit in there. And then we're going to take our blender top.
And gonna blend it.
And going to blend it. So we're going to pulse it for like 30 seconds so it's smooth.
Uh-huh.
Pretty watery. Now, we have found that you can actually drink this as a drink, but Tori was really excited because last time we made way too much. So, what we're going to do is we are going to do this here. I'll take the sharp part out of here. And then what you can do is you can pour it in there. Try not to spill it all over. So we got these molds from Aldi's. They have some other cute ones too. Right about, maybe a little bit more. A little bit more. Probably you can go up to the edge, like so it's all the way up. That's probably good there. We want to leave a little bit of headroom because when you put the popsicle part in, it'll go down. So we'll probably make 2 of these and then we'll probably do yogurt ones maybe for the other ones. Ooh, there's a watermelon chunk in there. That's okay. All right, and then the rest I guess you get to drink or chew on, huh? Or actually, here, let's put a little bit more in there. Okay, and then what do you do? What's the next step, Miss Tori? Yep, you put those in there, and then you would freeze them. We're going to make 2 watermelon frescas, and we're going to do 2 yogurts. You want to grab the yogurt from the bottom shelf in the fridge, and then I'll grab a spoon. So anytime that you are doing yogurt popsicles, get way back here. Let me help you. It's buried. So Aldi's always has these really great indulgent Greek yogurts. They have honey vanilla. They occasionally have a salted caramel, but we had the strawberry last time, and my absolute favorite is the key lime. So what you want to do is you do want to make sure that you stir it so it's smooth, because it's kind of, see how it kind of separates? It's chunky, so you want to kind of stir it up, because some of the water separates a little bit when it's on the shelf. So I always stir it up really good. This is just a plain honey flavor. So you could add some fruit, strawberries, raspberries, whatever you want. If you wanted to put more honey, you could. But this is already honey flavored, so you want to pour it in there. So take like a spoonful and kind of let it go in there. This part's kind of messy. There you go. You did a good job with it. Perfect. Make another one. So you're going to keep adding until it's up to the top. And if it, what we'll do is we can tap it to get some of the air bubbles out, and then you can always put a little bit more in there. So you just tap the mold. And probably a little bit more on that one. And tap it that way so it goes all the way over. Perfect. And then I would fill the other mold up. And if you have extras, you can taste it. So what is it, about 3, maybe 4 spoonfuls? Looks like maybe 1 more. It's about 3 spoonfuls. These are big spoons though. Here. We'll kind of scooch that over a little bit. Alright. Alright, what's the next step? And then all we gotta do is throw them in the freezer for like, I would say at least 4 hours. And then we'll have a nice sweet treat with these hot temperatures, right?
And these ones will not try to get out.
Yeah, so usually when you get them out of the mold, you have to put them under hot water so that it expands, and then you can separate it. But this is one of Tori's favorite treats on the hot summer days. So make some for yourself at home, and we'll see you guys next week. Hi there, Dr. Andrea Shanowski from Freedom Chiropractic and Holistic Health in the Peoria Metro Center and our YouTube channel, Health and Horsepower. This week, we are ending the month of June, and I kind of wanted to take some time to reflect a little bit. When we think about life and we think about finding joy and finding happiness, a lot of times we're always seeking new things out rather than being thankful for what we have. I wanted to take just a moment this week to talk a little bit more about how to find micro joys to change our outlook on life and kind of what we are focusing on a little bit. So really when it comes down to it, it has been postulated in some of the research that for every negative emotion you experience, so every piece of sadness, every piece of anger, every piece of disappointment, it takes 5 positive emotions to tip the scales and even them out. So every single time we have a negative emotion, stressor, sadness, or some type of disappointment in our life, it takes 5 positive things to change that around so that we are constantly not stewing in the negative things that are happening to us throughout our life. So what I wanted to do was kind of share a little bit more about how to find micro joy and how to tip the scale so that you have a more positive outlook, but also can really appreciate the things that happen on a daily basis. So when we think about positive things and joy, when we are focused on positive things, when we're focused on joy, and when we're finding happiness in our lives and throughout our day, that is going to actually help to stimulate our vagus nerve. Now, your vagus nerve is kind of like what I like to call your tightrope balance nerve. So when you have a lot of positive things in your life and you are focusing on the joy, that's going to help you to embrace, number one, obviously happy things, but that's going to actually help to stimulate your body's ability to deal and manage stress and deal and manage with sad things or any type of barriers that we run into on a daily basis. So whether that is something that happens at work or home, we need to be able to really tune in and kind of dig down deep so that when we have things happen throughout the day, that is not negatively affecting that vagus nerve. Because when your vagus nerve and specifically your stress response and your adrenal gland is overworked, that's actually going to cause your digestion to suffer. So when we start to see digestive issues happen, everything from heartburn to bloating to irregular bowel movements, that means that your digestive system is not working properly. And over time, if your digestive system is not working properly, that can lead to nutritional deficiencies. That can lead to ulcers. That can lead to issues where you're not breaking down your food and getting the most out of the things that you eat on a daily basis. And that can negatively affect your health, your healing, your sleep, your mood, you name it. So it's very important to realize that when we are focused on positive, happy, joy, that's going to help to change our outlook, but also help support our body's normal processes so that we can, number one, digest well, but we can also manage stress. We can manage sadness in our lives. It's also going to help with your breathing so that you are not taking shallow breath and you're getting oxygen so your body can heal and function fully how it's designed to. So I wanted to share a couple tips. I know already Tori has been on today sharing just some simple recipes, but one of the things that I think is really important when it comes to finding those micro joys is learning how to, number one, appreciate the things we already have. When we're focused on the things we don't have, we're never, ever, ever going to have enough or feel like we fulfilled our dreams. When we look at the things we have around us, so whether that is living in a home, having a car that you enjoy, or having a hobby that you enjoy doing, being able to have food in the house, being able to have clothes in the house that fit you, and shoes that are not worn through, those are things we need to be thankful for. But being able to have family around you is also something to be thankful for. Being able to have friends, being able to speak with your friends or spend time with them are all different ways that we can kind of seek joy out. So remember, on a daily basis, you might want to press pause and kind of think about the things around you that you're grateful for or thankful for that you have that maybe others don't. And kind of just press pause, kind of appreciate what's around you, what you're currently living in, and the things that are surrounding you so that you can be thankful and grateful and really focus on the joy of having those opportunities and being able to spend time with those people or things or hobbies in your life that bring you joy. Another thing is we also need to make sure we're pursuing connection. We are social beings. So I know everybody is online now. We're constantly looking at connections and trying to, grow our likes and our following, which great, that's wonderful. But we're not really getting the depth of connection of having people that understand us, that maybe joke around and bring out the joy or the humor in life, or maybe the ones that can bring up stories that help us reflect and look back to some good times, some funny times, or sometimes some horrific times that we can laugh about. So make sure you are seeking out that connection, even if it's just taking a phone call in the middle of the day to call up a friend or send a funny picture or a meme, or let's face it, I know a lot of people tend to send like reels and things that they come across that remind them of people. Those little pebbles of appreciation help to kind of connect with those people. But we also need to make sure that we're taking time to actually call and check in, maybe plan a meal or having a coffee together, or even just maybe doing a video chat to check in and kind of see how they're doing in their life. Another thing we should also do is be spontaneous. So sometimes when you're going along and you see something, you're like, oh, that sounds like a good idea, I should do that. Actually stop and do it. Don't say, you know what, I'll do that later. I'll do it another time. Because sometimes when life is crazy, you don't make the time later, or you're busy later and it doesn't happen. So sometimes you need to be spontaneous. Stop the car, pull over, go see that weird thing on the side of the road, and maybe take some awkward pictures with it just for some laughs later. Another thing is we can also try to find the humor in daily life. I know sometimes I have things that happen, especially it always seems to happen in the kitchen or the garage for my house. I don't know why, but I'll be cooking something and all of a sudden something goes wrong. Whether it is, I accidentally dropped, this happened the other day to me. I was out making these wonderful burgers. I had seasoned them well. I'd actually harvested some tomatoes from my garden. So we were going to have these wonderful burgers with fresh lettuce and pressed tomatoes. And I put some fancy cheese on top. And I only made enough burgers for each of us to have one for lunch. And I came inside and I picked it up and went to put it on top of the burger bun. And it slid right off. It slid right off onto the floor. The dog looked at me and I'm like, don't you dare. That is mine. So I literally had to pick up my food off the floor and kind of laugh about it. Like, of course, the day that I put all this care and I was so excited about these wonderful burgers that I made is the day I dropped it on the floor. Don't worry. I did do the 5-second rule. I picked it up, brushed off any hair and dirt. I had actually swept earlier that day, so it really wasn't that bad. And I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go ahead and eat it anyways because I was looking forward to this. And I'm not going to let the fact that it hit the ground, and granted, the dog didn't do anything to it, but still, I was able to kind of laugh about it and say, you know what, that's fine. A little dirt don't hurt. It's okay. And I was able to eat that. But it's really funny because after I was done, the dog looked at me like, can I at least lick the juice off the floor? And I was like, go for it, Letty. Go for it. You can go ahead, have some pleasure in my mistake that I made. Or a lot of times I'm in the garage and I always seem to drop a bolt or something like in the worst possible place that you could, where you have to get a magnet, like fish it out. And it's like, of course, I'm almost done. I have like one bolt left, and that's the bolt that I drop and goes to like this impossible place that's going to take me like half an hour to actually get it. But sometimes those little things that happen on a daily basis, or like when you're mad and you're walking and your shirt or your pants or something gets stuck on the handle, and you're like, dang it, why did I get stuck on that? Literally, we walk normal every other day, but when we're angry, we walk with purpose. And sometimes that just happens to be when things tend to grab out at us or, kind of wreck our day and kind of help us put us in like more of that immediate mindset, like, hey, maybe you should pay attention to what you're doing instead of being angry. So make sure that you find time for some humor, whether it's dropping a burger, making your project that much longer, or simply that door that, has got it out for you today. So make sure you take some time to find some of that humor. Another thing is changing your routine. So sometimes it doesn't take much to maybe set aside maybe 5-10 minutes in the morning to sit down and enjoy a cup of tea. Or maybe read a book for a little bit before you have to start your day and get all stressed out. Or maybe doing some stretching or some yoga or something that you take joy in the morning, whether it is maybe taking that cup of coffee outside and listening to the birds, whatever it may be. We need to make sure that we change our routine up sometimes to add some of those joys in. So my 5 tips were: take
or create a routine. So kind of add some into your routine to be able to take joy, find humor in the things that happen to us, even when they're bad situations. We might be able to laugh about them later, maybe not necessarily right on top of when they're happening. Make sure you're being spontaneous to do what kind of pops up in your head when it happens, just to be able to enjoy those things and maybe takes time out from your day. Make connections with people, and then also make sure you're appreciating the things that you're surrounded with and things you already have. So hopefully these tips found you well this week and help you find a little bit more joy. But just remember, try to find joy in the little things because it really does make a huge difference for you.